Hi there everyone, welcome to the third game of the International Twilight Struggle League. I'm going to be playing against Ultima Tulinka, which I hope I have pronounced correctly, who is another very good player from Poland. And this is the first time in this tournament that I'm going to be playing as the Americans. So I've just got online now, so we'll see how this goes. You too, my friend. Yeah, he's a very highly ranked player, and he's apparently very good as the Soviet, so we need to be very careful that we don't make any mistakes here, or as little as possible. Just let him know that I'm recording. There we go. So, a quick look at the hand. I don't see any reason to do anything differently in Europe. You know, we don't have Marshall Plan, so we might as well just go with the standard setup of 3 in Italy and 4 in West Germany. We'll put an extra one into Italy in case of socialist governments, and then an extra one into Iran to prevent any Middle Eastern nonsense there. So let's get started. So I don't know if you saw the last game, but it was a bit of a catastrophe, sort of dice and card-wise. We also lost on the very last turn to Europe scoring against Cardlinger. But, you know, I think we both played very well. It was just one of those things. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so looking at this hand, there are 2 obvious options. We could either go for containment, but to be honest, I think if we played containment, I don't think we'd get a lot out of it because, you know, we already have 2 4-op cards, so we can't increase the ops on them. We also have 2 scoring cards that we need to get rid of. So it'd only really be Nasser, UN, and Indo-Pakistani War that we would see ops improvements on. So I think we'll leave that where it is for now and just go for Europe, get that out of the way. It also helps with momentum, you know, later on in the game, or later in the turn I should say, because we're sort of minimising the number of turns where we can't do anything through having to play scoring cards. So let's do that and see what he plays. He goes for Arab-Israeli War, okay. He fails that, which is good news for us, and Europe is even, so nobody scores anything there. So a fairly uneventful headline. Phase, which, you know, sometimes I prefer. So here we go. So he's going for duck and cover. We get a point out of that. I'm guessing he'll coup Iran, which I think is what he's doing. Oh, and he gets a huge roll out of it. So he knocks us clean out of there. Right, so priority here, we definitely need to move out into the Middle East. So we'll put 1 into Lebanon just to give us presence. We have Nasser, so we don't need to worry about him flipping Egypt. So we'll just put 1 in there to sort of threaten Libya, and then we'll move into Malaysia to gain access to Thailand. So we'll see what he does with that information. A couple of things for him to think about there. So he's thinking. So we don't have any of the Soviet cards that give him access to Southeast Asia, so he might be considering doing that. Oh no, he goes for the coup again. And he goes for Lebanon. So he's sort of hell-bent on the Middle East, which makes me think that maybe he has the scoring card. So I think in that case we'll play NATO. We'll put 2 into Thailand to take that, and then 2 into Libya, so we can take advantage of the influence that we have in Egypt. And it also denies him domination. So he may go for a coup in Libya now. I might try Egypt, in which case we can play Nasser without many concerns. So yeah, so he's had a couple of big coups, a big coup on Lebanon, a big coup on Iran. So hopefully we can return the favour when it's our turn to coup. So here it comes. Where will he go? He goes for Egypt. Oh, and he fails, which is unfortunate for him. So given that, and given that he doesn't have access to Egypt at the moment, I think we'll get Asia out of the way. You know, we both have a battleground each, so nobody makes any gains there. You know, before he can decall or anything like that, cause any more issues there. Get out of the way. So now the focus is on the Middle East. So I'm guessing he'll go for Iraq next, in which case we can just place one into Egypt with UN. We'll play Indo-Pakistani for military ops, providing that we don't need to use it for normal ops. Okay, so he plays Japan now. So he goes into Iraq, and then he moves into... okay, so he's threatening Egypt now, so we need to take that. We get Japan, which is nice. Also serves as a buffer against Korean War. Okay, so let's take Egypt and deny him domination again. He's playing NORAD early on, which is unheard of, really. Okay, so we can't really fight against this now, so what I'm going to do is play Indo-Pakistani War for the event. Hope for a win, you know, but at best we prevent him from getting 2 victory points via military ops. So we fail it, unfortunately, but at least we'll be preventing him from, you know, getting those 2 points. If he scores from Middle East, he scores from Middle East. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, 3 points. We can take that on the chin. So with this 4 ops that we've left behind, we haven't seen any... Like I say, we haven't seen any Southeast Asia related cards yet, so I'm actually going to put Thailand up by 2 so we can't flip it with the China card. And then, I guess, Canada to take advantage of NORAD. Okay, so a fairly uneventful first turn. I've seen more exciting ones, but I'd rather it be uneventful than bad, if you know what I mean. So, okay, so here we go. Not a bad hand at all. So Korean War is in our favour if we have to play that. We've got Captured Nazi, which should hopefully give us a jump start on the space race. Independent Reds is nice. Special Relationship is nice. A couple of good 2-op cards there. And Red Scare, which I think will be our headline. And Vietnam Revolts we can play towards the end if need be. So I think we'll purge him. Just make things look a bit harder. And there's Decol. Okay, so he goes for that now. But luckily we bulked up Thailand, so he won't be able to flip that anytime soon. I'm guessing Algeria will be a priority here, so he might try and jump into France, which we need to take into consideration. Yeah, interesting that he played NORAD early on, because that can be a very troublesome card for the Soviets. Yep, so split evenly between Africa and Asia. So he's playing East European, so we'll get rid of Yugoslavia to deny him access to Greece, and then weaken the Eastern European battlegrounds. And he goes for the coup, I'm guessing Panama. Yep. So he just knocks us out, but he doesn't get any influence there, which I suppose isn't ideal for either side really. But when the Panama Canal card comes back later on in the game, then we'll be able to sort of have a jump start there. The question here now is, what do we do with our extra NORAD points? So he's taken our domination away in Asia. So if we go for Malaysia, that should give us that back. Right. So he can now take France with a 4-ops card, which will in his case be a 3-ops card. So let's just protect France ever so slightly. And then with the other one, I guess put them both into France, you know, make it unappealing for him. We need to play Captured Nazi sort of ASAP to, you know, take advantage of that that space race jump ahead. that I spoke about earlier. If he has de Gaulle, he has de Gaulle, so be it. We need to keep Suez anyway for blockade. As Formosan. So he takes Algeria, interesting. So let's try and get Korean War out of the deck. Hopefully it rolls in our favour. Come on. Yep, nice. So we can take South Korea now. So Asia is an area of concern for him. And he also needs to worry about the Cal card later on in the late war, which is an excellent headline for the US, in my humble opinion. I think after this, if he doesn't do anything drastic, we'll... oh no, he's going for the space. He gets it. Okay. So yeah, mistake on our part, but at least we can try and jump ahead. So we'll play Vietnam after this on the space race as well. There goes defectors. Moving into Burma. Okay, so we get a point from that as well. So let's try and jump ahead on the space race. And we hit it, which is nice. There's Fidel. So he's jump starting in Southeast Asia. If he plays blockade, then obviously we play Suez. If not, then we'll try and space it to get those 2 points. Take France to give us domination, and then kind of like protecting South Korea just to prevent any China card related nonsense. There's 5-year plan. And he plays Truman. Okay. So I think we can only take it from Finland, yeah. So rest in peace, Finnish communism. Personally, if I were him, I'd have kept the 5-year plan card in case, you know, Europe or Asia came up next round, but it is what it is. He obviously has his reasons for doing that. So let's try and get those 2 points again on the space race track. Very nice. So we make up for the 2 that we lose via military ops, basically. We're quite far ahead in the space race track for the early war. So, see what we get. We get D-Star, which is nice, but he has blockade, so we need to keep one of these cards for blockade. Right, not ideal hand-wise. So again, I'm thinking one of the scoring cards now. We have socialist governments, we have de Gaulle, but he could have... what's the other one? He could have Suez Crisis again, so I think we'll avoid Europe. I think we'll go for Asia, because let's just look at the country count. 5-3, so unless he has Decol again, which he may well have, we should score domination there. But you know, we can't really play any of the other events. So let's see what happens here. Arab Israeli again. Okay, so he might potentially take Israel here. Oh, and he does. Wow, good hit. So we get 6 points from that, and the points track turns blue. So if he coups here, then we'll just play Europe and get the points from that. You know, he does need to protect Angola in particular, because that's giving him a lot of African... Oh no, of course I forgot about CIA. Silly of me. Yeah, so there's blockade. He has containment, which is good news for us. But he doesn't have a particularly, you know, powerful hand either. So I think the obvious coup target here is Angola, so anything more than a 1 would be lovely. 4 suits me down to the ground, which is very nice. So we can now move out in Africa as well. And he can't cause any damage in Europe with CIA, so after this we'll just play scoring. We need to keep one of the 3 ops cards for blockade. Might go into India with this, I imagine. Yeah. So there's Nerad, and I think with that, I think we'll put it into France just to overprotect it slightly from any Suez attacks. So yes, we'll go for Europe before anything crazy happens there. I suppose we could go on a sort of space race rampage, as long as we keep. I mean, there are 3 cards here that we don't really want to play: Destall, Decal, and Socialist Governments. So we can space 2 of them and then keep 1 of them for, or scrap that, space 1 of them, and then we might have to play De Gaulle, which doesn't really concern me, to be honest, because we can just repair it. Nice. So we get to see his headline next turn. So I'm glad that Decal is, sorry, that Destall is out of the deck, so we don't have to worry about that. There's Romanian. Might go into Pakistan or. Alright, okay. Suppose it's worth a good attempt. Oh, nice. Wow. So the dice are moving back to our favour now. We could also potentially realign Algeria. And we've now got access to Nigeria. So he's going to Riku there. Oh dear, and he's a little bit unlucky. Rolls a 1. Let's get rid of Warsaw Pact. I don't recall seeing him with NATO, but obviously now that can be triggered, which protects Italy from brush war. It means that, you know, just sort of strengthens our position somewhat in Europe. Yeah, so we'll bulk up the battleground states and then go back into Yugoslavia. So let's move out in Africa while we still can. And then with this last one, I think we'll move into South Africa. Why not? We are going to have to play Nasser, unfortunately, but obviously with Sadat coming out in the mid-war, it's not the end of the world, and we probably will get Egypt backed at some point. So he's going to coup with blockade. Interesting. He still gets a little unlucky with that. So let's get rid of De Gaulle. So I think we'll put 2 back into France, 1 into Mexico, and then with Nasser at the end, we'll take Mexico, so we've got some Central American presence as well. Of course, I forgot about containment. Wow, the Saharan states really don't like him. Yeah, so we get 2 with Nasser. So I think what we'll do with that is we'll take Mexico. So like I say, we get some Central American presence, and then I guess go back into the Saharan states to A, threaten Algeria with realignments, and B, give us African domination back. So yeah, Middle East is the main area of concern at the moment, which it usually is for the US, granted. Okay. Well, a couple of nice cards here, quite a few actually. What's he saying? Yeah, he's got a point, to be fair. Yeah, he's been purged and the dice haven't been nice to him the last turn, to be perfectly honest, but if you watch my last game, then you'd know he's not the only person it's happened to. Yeah, this game can be nasty at times, as I'm sure a lot of you know. So he complains about Red Scare and then plays Red Scare. I don't get that, but okay. Right. question here is, what do we play? We can't coup with Junta. I suppose we could play duck and cover and get some 3 points out of it, because we know we're not going to die by Defcon suicide. Prevents him cooing an African battleground. Means we don't get NORAD, but at the moment, you know, it's not a huge benefit to us. I mean, obviously it's nice, but you know, we don't. It's not like a game-breaking move to play NORAD as it currently stands. So the only problem we've sort of created for ourselves here now is that we've gone into man in Earth orbit pretty early on, which means we can't space anything. So we're going to have to play socialist governments, because I definitely don't want to play Quagmire to keep NORAD in effect. Indo-Pakistani war, so he's going to go for Saharan states, and he finally gets it. So he finally gets a break there. So I think we'll play East European, we'll bulk up Nigeria, and then I guess take South Africa as well. We've got access with Junta as well, so I think we might go into Chile and attempt a realignment on Cuba. You know, we'll need to get pretty fortunate to knock him out with one roll because of Purge, but it's worth a try. Okay, wow, so he plays South America now to prevent us getting in there, which is pretty wise. I think with Junta in that case, we're probably best going into Panama, you know, to focus on points. Again, we're going to try for the realignment. You never know, we might get it, but no, nothing there. Okay. But again, if he's got liberation theology, then that makes things a little bit more difficult for him as well. Because he can't take Panama outright now, he can only break Mexico and Panama. Oh, there we go, so we've just gifted him Panama. Please fail. Okay. Could try, in fact, no, I don't want to play that. So again, try for a couple of realignments, or just the one. No, of course. Could also try to take a more stable African non-battleground like Tunisia or Botswana to give us domination there, and obviously it makes it's harder to coup for him. So he's playing Marshall Plan. Okay. Right. Don't really get going into Nigeria there, but never mind. So yes, we'll bulk up the battlegrounds, take the Mediterranean countries to sort of secure the country count. I want to save flower power for the end, just in case of any shenanigans where we require some ops to help us out. So here's the thing, I don't want him queuing Cameroon if we go in there, so I think we'll go into Sudan just to secure African domination there. Yeah, so that gives us 6. And also, that Marshall's helped a lot actually, because now we've got to play socialist governments. You know, it's not going to be as difficult for us to repair it because we're under Red Scare Purge. Okay, so we play Central America, so he gets 4 from that. We need to coup, we need to get some military ops. So I guess we'll try Nicaragua. No, we fail. Never mind. So there's China. So he's preparing himself for Southeast Asia scoring. So let's go into the Ivory Coast, just protect Nigeria a little bit. And then looks like he's trying to make a beeline for Southeast Asia. So we'll do that, and it's now even. We only get a couple of points from this as well, which is very, very nice. 1. And he's had some hard luck with the dice up until now. Yeah, so let's bite the bullet here with socialist governments. You know, we can just repair. So he just goes out of Canada. You know, part of me really wants to coup Colombia. Yeah, let's do that. Why not? He who dares wins. Nice. Play him at his own game there. So what do we get here? Not ideal. Puppet governments is lovely. But we have, I mean, South African is, you know, we can deal with that. Vietnam will play at the end. I mean, he's already got Vietnam anyway, so. I suppose with puppet governments we could put one into Pakistan, one into Chile, one into Brazil, I guess. Yeah, let's do that. So he's going to get some extra ops. Yeah, make sort of secure South Africa for future turns. I think we've seen Indo-Pakistani war as well, so yeah, so we don't have to worry about him flipping that to his advantage for the time being. May have to play the China card depending on how it goes. Yakuza kitchen debate, it's interesting. Ooh, that is nasty. Do you get points from that? Yeah, we do. Okay. Right. So let's spread out a bit with China. We need to because we've got a few too many problem cards here. So, bulk up Zaire, take Brazil, and then I guess move into Argentina as well to prevent any realignment nonsense. Of course, he's got that. He's going to go for South America, though. That's a question now. Right, okay. So he goes for Africa. Use Willy Brandt. Let's burn some of the sort of less serious Soviet cards. Go for Cameroon. It's our turn to get unlucky. But at least he gives us domination back, which is the main thing. So he's just going to break Libya with that. Yeah, what do you do? So take domination back there, take Libya back. Move into Argentina, just in case he plays Allende. Camp David, okay, nice, we get a point from that. So we'll have to repair Israel, I think, with one of them. Yeah. So he's quite gung-ho in Africa, which makes me think he might have the card. Come on. Yep, there we go. John Paul, okay. Okay, why didn't go for Sudan there? I don't really know. Right, so he actually breaks Poland there. So let's try and space, try and get 3 points. Very nice. I suppose Vietnam could be our second to last card, you know, it doesn't... I can't see him flipping Thailand with it. And he fails there. So if we use that, what are we like in Africa? So it's... Yes, we'll take... Yeah, take Ethiopia. That gives us domination back, so if he has that, then he has to play it now. And I guess as a final move... I don't know, we could... Oh, thank God. Hang on, how many scoring cards are there? 2. So... We'll definitely get rid of Decol. We have 2. As much as I'd like to get rid of those 2, and the chances are incredibly slim, or do we take the risk? I don't know. Hang on. Let me think this through. I'd hate to lose the game by that, so we can deal with South Africa and OPEC we can space on the next turn, but we need to get rid of Decol because we can't. Oh great, and we just get Liberation. What was the point of that? Well again, it's another card we can deal with, I suppose, because we can just take Mexico back, but that was a waste of time. So where's he going with this? Pakistan maybe, or... Right, it's... okay. Takes Poland back. So I think we'll bite the bullet with OPEC, but you use that first. Break Iraq, so it's not as bad. And then I think get our NORAD benefit back. Because then we can break Poland if he decides to coup on the next turn. And cause some issues for him there, hopefully. Nice, we have defectors, we have Usuri River Skirmish if we get the China card back, nuclear subs, that's always nice to see. Cambridge doesn't affect us, we can take Chile before playing Allende. Anything good we could pick in the discard? Yeah, quite a few things. Okay, so we definitely want to defect to that because we don't want to be without presence in the Middle East. So through that he also loses a big 4-ops card, which is good news for us. Still going to go for the coup. he goes for Nigeria. So he's got African domination there, but there wasn't an awful lot we could have done about that. Yeah, so I think now if we make like a beeline for Poland and use shuttle diplomacy, you know, if he uses the China card to take it back, then we can then use Usuri for the event. You know, Warsaw's already been played, so we don't need to worry about losing our influence there. Or we could just use that, alternatively. Of course. Right then. Get rid of Cambridge. Take Chile. So let's secure South America. Okay, fair enough. Then I guess nuclear subs. And then bulk up Chile. That does sort of scream that we have Allende, but you know, what can you do? I might want to overprotect Argentina as well before I play Allende. Portuguese. So he takes Iraq back. It's an Iraq attack. I guess we can play this and just fix Mexico. Yeah. Right, so a bit of a point swing in his favour. So it's all back to even. Allende, I suppose. Do we risk the realignment? That's the question. Yeah, why not? Nice. So we don't have to worry about him breaking Argentina for now. Lone gunman, so he wants to get that back into the deck quite wisely. Salt, I guess with this wheel. What can we do with this? Take his domination away here, I suppose. Maybe we should have done that before, but never mind. And that's Sadat. Okay, so that makes things slightly more bearable in the Middle East. Then I think what we'll do with this is keep pushing for Poland, because obviously NORAD makes that even more complicated, you know. Ooh, I like this hand. Very, very nice. So yeah, cultural, we can play that before he plays the China card. Grain sales is obviously brilliant. He has the voice of America, we know that much. Okay, so with that we can just give him cultural revolutions, that doesn't really matter. So let's play this. Hope for something good. Yep, that'll do. Or do we go for the coup? No, the odds aren't in our favour. Let's keep pushing. And then we'll give him cultural. So if he decides to coup, then we can take Poland, which makes things in Europe look very, very bleak. We'll space Che, I think. Southeast Asia doesn't really matter, it's even. So he does coup, so we can now go for... Okay, so he goes for Venezuela, so that's not ideal. Yeah, so Poland. And then with Missile Envy, take Poland and then just bulk up Brazil in case he tries to break it or do anything silly there. So Europe looks good. Could also consider taking Czechoslovakia, which would make tear down this wall quite a tasty option. So he goes for the space immediately. And he's successful. Let's protect Brazil and get our domination back. I'm going for Uruguay. I think as a last play we can go for colonial rearguards, you know, like break Algeria, something like that. There's NATO, very nice. Ooh, he gets a bit unlucky there. So we don't have to worry about Italy being brushwood anymore. So we can go into there. I suppose break Pakistan, just threaten him somewhere else, you know. Just keep making him do things. And Suez. Might go for India as well, yeah. Get rid of Southeast Asia. Doesn't really matter. He's walking on the moon, so we won't get to see his headline anymore, unfortunately. And we're not walking on the moon, which is frustrating. I think with Comic-Con we'll probably take Czechoslovakia so he can't put a point in there. And then we'll have a good realignment advantage on... Ooh, scrap that. Let's take... Well, the thing is, we'll put one into Panama and one into Venezuela, so we've got to make him think, do I prevent South American control or do I protect my Central American domination? Because he can't do both. And he decides on Venezuela. Okay, so let's use Comic-Con. And we can grab Panama off him by doing that. Okay. Nice. Where's he going to coup? Uruguay again? Okay, doesn't seem to like him very much, but... And he can't discard anything there. So play colonial rearguards. Yes, Algeria. What's the country count now? 5 to 6. Break Botswana. One more in Angola. And then he's already played Portuguese, so we'll go for Southeast African states. Just bulk up the country count a little bit. Make that difficult for him. Woohoo! Not very nice. So I reckon here the plan of action is we defect to him, then we play Chernobyl, move into Czechoslovakia, or Austria, it doesn't really matter, or both, and then try to tear down the wall in East Germany. And we have war games as well, so we don't need to worry about that. So the only issue here is that we've drawn lone gunmen. Very nice. You don't see that. So he's going to go for the old coup. And he goes for Argentina, and he just hits a 1. Okay, so we'll trade him Africa for South America even. In fact, yeah, let's do that, and then let's Chernobyl him, and we'll definitely go for Europe. So we can put, I don't know what I was thinking with that other term, we can put 4 into Austria, and then 4 into Czechoslovakia, and just see if we can go for Europe control. There's China. So he's back into Africa. Yeah, so he's just threatening everywhere else basically. Yeah, so let's grab Austria. He's going to space, and he hits it, so the Russians have beat us to the moon. Move into Czechoslovakia, so we should have a +3 modifier, I think. You know, in Samantha, she's probably going to go for Brazil here, I imagine. Yep, doesn't get. Okay, so he knocks us out. And then with Solidarity, we'll take Czechoslovakia. So the reformer is something we need to be wary of. So should this be successful, which I hope it does, which I hope it is, sorry, we need to protect our European battlegrounds. Latin America, so he's probably going to take Brazil now, I imagine. Yeah. Right then, come on, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Yep, so we've got a +3 modifier. Unbelievable. Come on. That's more like it. And then, which one can we go for? Poland. West Germany. Yep, nice one. So we get South America for 5 points. So terrorism, Full Cup. Europe. I don't know if he means that's the game or... I know he's playing that. He's giving it his all, I'll give him that. So let's play South African. And we'll take Panama back. So we don't want to get too cheeky, and then we'll put one into East Germany just to protect that as well. So we've put all our eggs in one basket here, so I hope it pays off. And he gets rid of nuclear subs. Okay. Come on, I want to see Europe. Oh yes. So unless something drastic happens, the game is ours. But you never know with Twilight Struggle. Let's play Usuri, cause some problems in Asia. Okay. Let's just check here. So he's got 5 in Africa. I'll give him 8 in total. That'll take him up to 19. Yes, I don't think he can win here via Wheelberry. Europe's looking very much like Britain did last night with the Conservative election. I don't know if any of you saw that, but it was a bit of a shock for some of us here. We weren't expecting such a huge majority. That's politics for you. So there's UM. Is he just repairing Asia? Yep, that suits me down to the ground. That's the game. All via Europe. He did have some hard luck during that game, I'm afraid, I have to say. But tear down this wall, wins it again, as it so often does for the Americans. So just as well, because this is quite a nasty hand as well. Yep, GG. European control wins the game. I think if we hadn't controlled Europe, then he probably would have won that one. Let me just reply to this message. No, he played very, very well there, considering the circumstances. But you know, I think the nail in the coffin for him was the fact that he couldn't. You know, he couldn't really do anything in Europe when we Chernobyl and used tear down this wall. You know, he didn't have reform or anything like that to intervene in Europe. So that was it. So yeah, so some interesting things to think about there. I think we took a risk. Personally, you know, we gave up South America, we gave up Africa, we gave up Central America in the pursuit of Europe, hoping that it came out. So could have been a potential error. Luckily, it didn't turn out to be, but we win in the end via Europe scoring, which I'm very happy with. So, thank you very much for watching. I'll be uploading this soon, and there'll be new games coming up on the way. So, like I say, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I will see you very shortly. Thank you. Goodbye.